Hi everyone, this is AlphaAli. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone's doing okay. So today we're doing a brand new person actually being VOD reviewed. So this is a FEMBOY microwave. FEMBOY is a lovely member of my community that's come in very recently and essentially sent in this game for me to VOD review today. I'm going to just quickly read what they've put. Essentially they put, game is very close but we eventually lost. I will only play Mercy here. It was about a Masters 5 and Masters 4 lobby. I climbed from about Plat 3 to Masters 3 really fast, which is a huge achievement already. And recently went from Masters 3 to Masters 5, okay? So first of all, just a quick little word of advice. If you climbed up so quickly and then you do like a little drop like that, it's perfectly normal and it's okay, you know? Like, my best kind of piece of advice to any kind of Mercy is please do not focus on your rank too much. Focus more about how you play yourself, okay? If you're going negative on a card, who cares, you know? Just keep on working on yourself. Keep on thinking if you keep on playing well and keep on improving your gameplay, the wins and the ranks will come with it. All right, just like a little thing to begin with. We have the imp skin on, which is really adorable, and the little rainbow charm as well, which is really cute. Oh, sorry, I did also forgot to say, if you want your own VOD reviews, you have 5,000 channel points. I do them on Mondays on my Twitch, and I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. If you guys want to watch at any point. So, it's going in. I would have, instead of just kind of AFK in here with your cast as you're coming up, I would be kind of looking to damage boost someone, like for example your Genji at this first beginning bit, just purely to get that extra kind of damage in before your cast comes in, alright? But we'll keep going. It's already loving this damage boost, this is great. Nice, you flick some damage boost knowing he's antied. Really nice heals. Link it back to your cast, which is great. Lovely. Lovely damage boost as well on your cast. Really great. Awesome. So overall, apart from that kind of first bit where I'd flick onto the damage boost a little bit more, you know, what's it called? At that beginning of the fight, overall I cannot cannot do anything against. Love how you're letting your honor heal that. Obviously she ends up doing it, which is fine. Love your position right now. Lovely. Very nice. Alright, I think at this point though, I love obviously how you positioned here in the cover. It's really nice. And I think, yeah, you are at this point repositioning, which is great. Because obviously they will be coming in very soon. I love how you just deep, on this angle. I love your beam management. It's amazing. Really nice. Okay, my only thing is I would have gone into res a little bit sooner here. The reason is because even it's great that you went to go in and damage boost the high noon, but a lot of the time high noon is not, especially in this higher ranks, high noon is not going to get any kills. It's just really it's basically just really good to kind of zone people off. So you can use this high noon as more like a space maker, and you can go and get this res off in this corner basically a little bit as well in the cover. You have this Rhino obviously to protect you, but if you res it right in this corner, you will basically block out the LOS of this Ashe too as well, alright? So just kind of use that as a little bit more of a zoning ult rather than it's going to get kills ult basically. Or rather because of the shield. Which you can basically just use the high noon there instead. But the shield was really good as well for you to res. So backing off, which is really great. I love this right now. Lovely damage boost from your Genji. Switching back, which is great. Your Ryan is in there. That is not your fault whatsoever. Yeah, I was about to say you what's it called, shaking your head at it. Really good positioning right now. When Valkyrie, my only thing is I would not Valkyrie. I feel as though this is what's it called? Oh, I don't know, because they're starting to reprotest now. What I would have done here, especially because your team's still they're backing out, I would have maybe just held off on the Valk a little bit more. I would have popped it a little bit later than what you have. For example, when your Genji goes in to properly dash in like he has. The reason is because, especially if your team decide they don't want to commit to this fight because you've lost your tank and they start properly backing out, you're going to waste your Valk, okay? So instead, you basically just want to kind of hang about in this area, and then if this Genji decides to go in and commit, and also you'll know what's it called, you'll know this Ryan's gonna be coming back, you can then pop that Valk at that point in time. Alright, but it's fine. He ends up, you can press that. Okay. With this, where his thing is right now, hold on, let me check you do have res online. I feel as though, yeah, you do have res, alright. This Genji has died here. My Valk's not the greatest, I've realised. It was a good Valk, do not get me wrong. It's just you had to use it a little bit later, if you get me. But it's alright. Right. This, you can res. Okay? because especially when you're in Valk, but you can also do out of Valk. It's a little bit harder to do out of Valk, right? But essentially, what's going to happen is all this enemy team is going to be very, very focused on this, okay? While you're still in this Valk, you could just quickly GA over to this soul, start at the res, and you can like flip it over these walls. So it means that essentially you can like help res this Genji while your team is very healthy and the whole enemy is like focused onto it. You can just come into the backline here, flick over this wall, get the res off, and then you can like basically kind of bring yourself back up a little bit more, and you can damage boost around like these pillars and stuff. You can back off as well if you need to. Just obviously be mindful that you have just res this Genji. He's going to be very vulnerable being in the backline like this. But it then means that you're back up to basically you're going to be actually have an advantage because they've just lost their Sojourn. That was my plan because of the brig. Right, you have to realize though, brig like this. Hold on, let me rewind it a bit so we can see like the actual like brig. What's it called? We can see like what she's doing, because unless if brig has her rally, she can't really harm you during the res, especially if you do it over the wall like you have. So this is the point where I'd pop the Valk to help the Genji dash in. Genji ends up falling, right? We back off around. Now this is where you go, okay? Because you can basically like do a quick look at your team and then look back at this. This brig is now pushed forward. You can now basically just go over and for the end of your Valk, res it over like this. And then because your Valk is ending, you essentially can either go and try and get your beam on this Rhine, or you could just play it safe, wait it out here, and then go in with your Genji. Because what probably happens, your Genji will try and like shuriken like some of these guys and dash in. You can use then that dash as your movement to either back off to your team if you need to, or you can fully commit with this Genji by like GAing like around like here or something if you really want to. Alright, but it's just a little bit of like a res opportunity there. It's fine, we decide not to do the res, which is fine. Ryan doesn't get antied. Cass ends up, yeah, this is a back out now. Which is fine because you held it for quite a while. Lovely waiting until you rotate to go through, which is really great. Love how you leave your honor. That is perfectly fine to leave your honor there. You can definitely go in for a res here though. Yes. Awesome. Because obviously you want to like start pushing in really quickly. You're gonna get hit with the dynamite, which is absolutely fine since it was pretty much like a max range dynamite. Love how you use the health pack to get rid of it. Okay, my thing, this is just a very kind of like personal thing. When you have a Genji and he has like nano, if you can, try to follow him as well with your damage boost. Now, when he has nano, it doesn't necessarily like matter too much because obviously he has the nano on him basically. But it basically means that he can like, especially if he has the damage boost and the nano, because they stack, it's just like, he literally just one slice and they're gone, like instantly. So, especially because he like kind of set off like from, what was it, about like here-ish, I would look to actually maybe follow him for this like blade and just try and like, what's it called? Like secure those kills basically. Because I feel like it's going to do a lot on this blade, but you being there can also, what's it called? I try to want to have Valk. You could do it out with Valk as well. 100%, like especially if you're especially if you feel confident in your movement, and obviously because he has that nano on him as well. But it's fine. You're going obviously side with the cast as well, which is great. Nice help in on the Genji. Nice damage boost as well to the end. Love how you're leaving as well the healing for honor. That's perfect. Yeah, sorry, just to reply to a comment as well, this just covered in the chat. Yes, any kind of damage boost stack. So, basically, you can stack mostly damage boost with Bat Window, on what's it called? On Nano Boost, and you can also stack it with Discord Orb. It does a maximum of like a 200%, what's it called? Thing. I think it's like a 200% like damage boost that you can increase it to. You can't go any higher than that, I think. Off the top of my head, but yeah, but it's nice damage boost here. I would be looking though, instead of just being kind of like AFK-ish a little bit here, I would like maybe just be looking to see if you can like try and GA into your Genji right now, just to try and help him with this 1v1. Let me just quickly rewind it, sorry, because I was talking a little bit more about what's it called, about the damage boost there. But yeah, so lovely heals here. Love how you went to go damage to the end of that deflex. You can damage with deflex as well. Love the heals. Obviously, register that he's over there. That's really, really perfect. Lovely damage boost. Okay, this is the point where you start healing him up here. I would look to, what's it called? I would look to be going into this Genji. Because what you can do is you can like basically GA over to this Genji, do a vertical super jump up here, and you can, instead of, because obviously it means that you're out of the LOS of the soldier, you can then just help him out here and just kind of help him with this 1v1 here. Especially, excuse me, with how like strong soldier is right now. Like, Genji is going to need that support, bless him. But it's fine. Cassins are fully wind up doing that, which is great. Lovely. You did exactly what I just said. Lovely. Lovely going to help Ana. Okay, my only thing here is I would have pinged this, especially if you have comms, I would have pinged this res, and hopefully this rank could have shielded you, like, right at the end of this res. This is, like, a very, like, nitpicky thing of, like, you know, you could, like, get him back up for the last fight and stuff. Obviously, this only really works if you are, like, able to use comms and stuff like that. But it would have been great if you just, what's it called, got this res and then healed up the Ana, especially because the Ana's, like, in safety. But that's just a very, like, nitpicky thing that I'm going out there, basically. Love the damage boost on the Genji. We now have to think, okay, what they're going to come with. They're going to have Rally to push into. Lovely, Valk. Okay. We look a little bit lost with this Valk. I'm going to quickly head back so we can just kind of review what's happened. So, obviously going in. I would have pinged that res and gone for it. But that's fine. So with our Genji. Okay. Damage boosting. This is really, really great. I would have literally, as soon, like, because obviously you pop your Valk as soon as you get it. I would have used it just to, like, basically use it to enable your Genji in this back line. Okay? Because what happens is this Ryan gets antied and you've left the heal beam on him. And then you get kind of like a little bit like messed up because you're like, oh my gosh, like where, like what's happened? He ends up basically getting, what's it called? Like just destroyed. But if you're with this Genji, you're using your Valk to be with this Genji, you can essentially help clear up these guys, right? Because if your Genji basically kills, because right, what's gonna happen here is essentially you're down a person already because you're down your cast. What's gonna happen here is either you commit with this Genji and he clears everyone up, and then, like, you can go and clear these guys on point and you win the round. Or it's probably going to be, oh, like, you're probably going to lose this fight because you've already lost your tank. Alright. But we'll keep going. We'll see what you do. So we're hanging about. We end up abandoning Ana a little bit. You see what I mean by the Genji? He's ended up, obviously, he's got picked off by the Sombra because they've switched to Sombra. But he's managed to get a kill on the Ana. I get lost in my Valk, especially if someone I'm beaming dies. Honestly, like, just do not care. Like, if someone you're beaming dies, if you can get the res off, then obviously go and, like, initially res it if you can. But if, like, you know, if he ends up, like, just dying, just be like, okay, who's my next best? And at that point, I would have just gone in with your Genji. Because what's going to happen is, Ana, like, I mean, obviously she survived it here, but, like, the majority of the time when she has a brig that's using Rally and a Ryan like this just walking onto her, it's going to be very rare that she will survive. So you just basically have to fully commit with your Genji, see if you can make something off this point, off this, like, you know, this thing. They end up actually C9ing, which is quite hilarious. But yeah, I would essentially just, what's it called, just gone in, I'm just committed with the Genji. But overall, quite a strong round already, FEMBOY. I love your use of, like, your positioning. Your positioning is great. Like, your cover usage is really, really good. We just need to kind of, like, how do I say it? Like, I feel as though we need to step it up in the Mercy gameplay, right? Because, like, do not get me wrong, your Mercy gameplay is solid, but I feel as though the thing that is stopping you from getting up a little bit higher in that Masters and get yourself into that GM is we now need to be basically, like, perfecting, like, how we play our Mercy. And that can obviously be done by looking at the reses that we've done and just learning that game to, like, a little bit more of, like, a deeper level. And it all kind of comes from, like, decision making. Okay. Just also, like, a little bit of, like, quick tip as we're going in. What you can do as Mercy, especially on control points like this, you can speed people out as Lucio to get people out quicker. And then you can just switch to Mercy as soon as you've done the speed boost. It just, like, gets people out. It gives you guys, like, a better control of, like, the team fight as you're coming in. I play Mercy, but I play a lot of Ana. Okay. So Lucio is literally just a speed out, though. To kind of get you there quicker. Right, love where you're positioned right now. Helping Ash when she reloads, perfect. Your blue beam usage is beautiful. Obviously can't help Ryan there, that's fine. Love how you're trying to keep the space though with the Ashe. I'd be looking to back out now. Yep, perfect. Backing off to spawn. Can't really do anything with your Genji. Just overall really, really lucky with your Ryan. Like I just feel as though he kind of like overextended a little bit. Alright, going over with your Ashe. You're doing that the absolute perfect thing here of obviously going to off angle with your Ashe. Love the positioning. I love how you keep on flicking onto your your teammates as well, just to make sure that they're okay. Okay, registered soldier, that's good. Try not to stay like too long like staring at him. Like very much in your head, just like register like he's there and then just try to position yourself like accordingly. Okay, let's just quickly rewind it because it feels like I paused it when I didn't want to pause it because I wanted to say that. Alright. So obviously saying how you're really, really good at looking back and stuff like that. Alright. So this is where you register him, which is good and all, do not get me wrong. And then you position yourself up here. This is great because obviously it means that now he's going to have to like really like try and like angle himself properly to try and like get to you, right? This is perfect. Do not spend your entire time though like staring at this. The reason is because you're now losing like essential information about your team and about how they're doing at this very moment in time, alright? So as soon as it's done, just get your eyes back on your team. Okay? So we damage missing Ashe, which is Ashe, which is great. I love how you stay in this corner. You literally, at this point, just want to stay in this corner. You do not want to back out here because you know this soldier is here. So your safest bet right now is literally just to kind of back yourself off into this corner as much as you can into this corner like this, all right? Once you're in that corner, if you do need to leave your Ashe, because obviously if you start getting dove, you have options like your Ana and your Genji. All right. So we're just going to see what happens. So we end up backing up to the corner, like I said. Lovely. Lovely. Yes, you made the absolute correct decision here, going with the Genji. So now we're going back to the point. Lovely damage to the Genji. Cannot res that. I would have literally just carried on just playing it safe with your Genji. Lovely J in there. Obviously, you know your Ana's back, which is great. Lovely. Trying to get a heal on her a little bit. Yep, nice. Really, really great. I love how you're using this high ground so much. It's really, really great. Valk, nice. Lovely. I would have just said, okay, if they didn't end up killing this visor, you have to essentially like, what I would have done here, just a very minuscule thing, right? Especially if this like soldier makes himself hard to hit, you essentially just want to stick a damage boost on this person and then just like crouch, like just use your Valk and just crouch down behind this wall, because then hopefully your beams will basically stay on. If you can't end up killing him, or obviously people end up dying, so you have two options, right? Essentially, if they're struggling to kill him but they're still alive, you can quickly whip back up like this and get your beams back on and whip back down. If the team fight obviously don't end up killing him, you can literally just, just come and damage boost people here. Alright? But really, really, really great, obviously, with the Valk. Unfortunately, your Ana gets picked off. Love going for that res now. Really perfect. That is so unfortunate, man. I actually thought the bomb was going to come on to point, so I was like, oh, quick, can you, like, get over? Where did the bomb actually even land? Hold on, let me quickly rewind it so I can, like, see. I love this battle, by the way. So this is what I mean by this point. Like, as soon as you hear that visor, you should know that he wants to, like, come over and flank. So just do that damage boost on. Love the heals back on your Ana. Really, really great. Obviously, ends up getting picked off. It's fine. I love how you're looking for that res, but you can't get it off just now. You're waiting for your Ryan to back off a little bit more. Perfect. All right. Where is this bomb going? Because honestly, it is so difficult to find out where this bomb's going. Okay. I feel as though you're dead anywhere here where this bomb's landed. And it's just really unfortunate because it's a really good bomb. How did your Ana not die? Was it because she was like really like close down? Because it basically, so it exploded here. So if you J'd over to the wall, unless if you were like crouched down behind your Ryan shield, then you would have survived. But apart from that, honestly, I do not think there's anything else you could have, like, personally done here. Like, that's just an extremely unfortunate bomb. It's very, very well placed. Like, you cannot, what's it called? You can't even be mad that you died there. Like, that's just a really, like, really good bomb. But it's fine. So your team end up, like, basically dying. Try to get out. I think the only thing, unless if, like, I don't know, hold on. Let me quickly go back. Oh, you've already died. Hold on. I'm just looking to see whether you could have got behind the Ryan shield. But this is like a very like hindsight thing. This is just me being curious. More than anything, to be honest. So we res. We end Valk. Okay, I don't know whether you would have been able to make it behind Ryan shield because you end up like doing this like mini super jump and getting a little bit lost. Honestly, it's just a hindsight thing. I just wanted to see whether you could have got behind the Ryan shield, which it would have been close to, but honestly, do not beat yourself up about that bomb. Like that, it's just an extremely good bomb by the D.Va, basically. Anyway, so back to where we were. So obviously we're coming back to come and get Ryan. Nice. It would have been nice if he let you have the ult charge rather than, you know, going in. Nice heals. Your Ryan is being really aggressive, it feels like. Just remember, he has like a really big health pool, right? So you don't need to spend your entire time just healing this Ryan. Like, you could, for example, you did really well with topping him up, but as soon as you see this Genji and this, like, soldier's now with you, just kind of focus on them more than basically, like, trying to heal up your Ryan. Especially because your Ana's coming back now. Really good heals, though. Really love this. Same thing, I would go and commit with the Genji. So that's, once again, that's just my personal opinion. Right. We also have to kind of, like, look out for this, what's it called? We have to look out for this Genji. Because what's going to happen is Genji's going to go in. At some point, he will probably need this health pack, which is exactly what he's done. And then at some point, he'll realize, I can't fight this anymore, and will come out this side, okay? So instead of you being focused on this Ryan, which your Ana can heal very, very easily, your like, line of sight now basically needs to be looking at this Genji instead. Because what you can do is you can, like, kind of move yourself forward a little bit more, so you're still with the soldier, play, like, kind of here-ish instead. And then you can just wait for your Genji to finish off this blade and then go and help him like afterwards. Alright? Because you can just leave that healing to your Ana. Let Ana build up that nano again. And then look, your Genji's coming out. Obviously you do end up like, keeping him alive, which is great. It would have been a lot like better if you like were just ready for him already. Instead of like, you know, being a bit more proactive instead of reactive. Which is probably one of my favourite phrases to say. Sure to heal up your soldier. There we are. Had a little bit of an issue trying to get the beam on, which is fine. I love how you're positioned right now, especially because they have that torp turret. Lovely. Oh, okay. Okay, that should have just been a GA, get him and get out. Alright. I feel as though you kind of like messed it up a little bit, but it's fine. You did the right thing, obviously, like just backing out. Yeah, you did the right thing of just backing out right now. And I feel as though you're not going to have anyone to touch, unfortunately. Yeah, you're just unfortunately not going to have anyone to touch, which is really unfortunate. But it's fine. I was meant to go back there, yeah. Which, to be fair, is kind of like half like your Genji's fault for extending like so much, but at the same time, I don't know whether it would have helped. It would have helped you with your like general position and stuff if you managed to get yourself back. Because it kind of like makes your team panic that you're still there kind of thing. And then obviously your Ryan will like want to push forward and like help like shield you and stuff. So it would have been better if like you did like the GA back and stuff. But it's fine. Just something you need to polish up on. Okay, so same thing again as well. I would use Lucio here to speed everyone out and then go back to Mercy. Sorry, just having a bit of my drink. Well, that's just like a very like nitpicky thing from me again. We have Sojourn as well this time instead of the Ashe, which is like the soldier, you know, still a really good damage to his target. Obviously Genji is as well. Same thing again where you just kind of want to get like the early like damage boost in from your Reinhardt like fire strikes. You cannot do anything for that Genji, unfortunately. Just be careful with doing these like super jumps as well on this point. The reason is because they will basically just be constantly just spamming out of this room. This is just gonna be a room of like spam damage. And you essentially want to not have LOS of this like kind of thing whatsoever. So you either play exactly where you're playing now, which is behind this cover, or you play on these like stairs, like down, like on these stairs like this, because you can like break these barriers away and then you can just like just play here underneath here, because it happens every single time. Everyone will take the fight up here unless if we have like sims and stuff, which, you know, the fight will be taken on point. A lot of the time the fights will just happen here. You essentially have to kind of hope and pray the Ana, what's it called, heals people. It's when I realized the Genji was doing more than the other DPS. I usually realize these things a bit too late. It's difficult to say because I feel as though both of them are doing a lot. The reason why you might think that Genji's doing a lot is because he's getting a lot with his blades, alright? But apart from that, he's being very aggressive. And also they have a very kind of like anti-Genji comp at this point. So you'd hope that he'd like start to switch. The reason why they have this anti-Genji comp is obviously they have the Zen, and obviously the what's it called, the Sombra and the Torb, right? But obviously I know the Genji can obviously go into the Zen and stuff and dive him, but that Discord combined with the Torb turret and also the Sombra, it can melt him down like really, really easily. But it's fine. Keep on going. Same thing where I want to do a super jump up there. Oh, everyone just ends up falling. Nice. Oh, that's just really unfortunate we're getting out. That's just unfortunate for getting out. You can't really do anything to help there. My other thing is I wouldn't have done like the little super jump upwards. I would have just done once again a directional GA to try and get the Rhine. Because then it saves you from obviously being out in the open. I know obviously you couldn't get a res up on the Sojourn just because of how like messy the fight was and everything, so it's all good. So we're playing like down below with the Sojourn. Nice heals. Waiting for us to slide away, which is great. Okay, that should have been a GA in to go and help Genji, right? This is what I mean by this higher level thinking, right? I feel like it comes a lot more for you being proactive in certain scenarios, right? Because so you're like stood in this like main bit here with this Sojourn. You're just like, you know, helping the Sojourn like spray people down main. You can see this Sombra's up here, right? Now what's gonna happen is obviously she's seen that your D.Va and Genji have dived in together. You now need to basically go and help and go peel for this Genji. Because you should now know that if your Sojourn's going to go and commit this way, most likely like Sombra's going to realize, oh, well, Mercy's going to go and commit with the Sojourn. You actually want to do that complete opposite here. And you want to go and help this Genji. You want to basically, as soon as you can, get that heal beam on him and just kind of like drop down here and like use your angelic descent. Try and help him out here. Kind of figured he would instantly die when I saw he was critical. The thing is, you could have got in a lot sooner. Let me just quickly rewind it because I'll show you what I mean, right? So, we're going in. Obviously, we decided to go Sojourn main, which is really good, providing like a better like off angle to attack from. This is really great of you, like obviously damage boosting, healing. Right, it's this point here, right? So, we see obviously Sojourn's here. This is the point, right, where you now essentially have to go and help this Genji. Alright, because this Genji, I don't know if you will be able to save him or not, but this is like definitely the point where you just have to leave the Sojourn. Because at the moment, with Mercy, it's more so staying with the best blue beam targets rather than, not your best, sorry. It's more important about being whoever's like being active in the team fight rather than your best blue beam target. Because I would put Genji as probably like an A tier for blue beam, whereas your Sojourn, I say, is more like an S tier. But in the scenario, you have to think, well, who's the one that's taking the most damage? Who's the person that's being the forefront of the battle, if you get me, right? And it's this Genji. So essentially, what you need to do is you basically need to get in with this Genji. Leave a Sojourn for like a minute, like a couple seconds or so, because she'll obviously start taking this off angle on the point, in which case you can go back round and join her. But at this very moment in time, you want to be basically helping this Genji. So he doesn't end up getting hacked like this and just melted down like this. Times his target's something I need to work on. I feel as though you've got the key idea of like knowing like who to damage boost over other people, because obviously there are like better blue beam targets other than others, but it's now taking that to not so much like kind of, because it's a lot easier to say to people who are like plat and like diamond, very much like this is who you should be spending the most of your amount of time with, and then you should try and look for other damage boost targets. When you get to like the Masters and GM level, it's more so how much damage boost you can get out of yourself is like the best way to play Mercy, basically. And that means that a lot of the time you will leave your main blue beam target. Like you will go and blue beam your tank at some points, especially if it's a Rhine versus Rhine and he's swinging his hammer. You know, nobody can shoot through that shield. You have to go for the Rhine. It's a very similar thing here where Genji is the one that's trying to attack this Torbjorn over here, but you should also know the Sombra's here. So it's just very much like, you know, it's like kind of working out who you should be with, basically, a little bit more. It's fine with taking off this off angle now. I would have literally just stayed where you are. Yeah, this is just a bit of messy positioning from you. You essentially should know as soon as this Sojourn, because what's gonna happen? Sojourn will want to start capping this point like this. Sojourn is not going to cap this point whatsoever. Like this team is not going to allow them to. So what's gonna happen? Sojourn's gonna dive. Everyone's just gonna dive. So you basically want to prepare yourself. Like once again, using that proactiveness, right? And just thinking what's gonna happen. They're gonna They're gonna dive you, right? So you just have to basically play this cover like this, like jiggle peek this like this with your Sojourn. As soon as that Sojourn slides out, you GA out and you don't take any damage here. You literally just stay back with your Sojourn and you get her out, alright? It's fine. We end up getting hacked by it, which is unfortunate. But it's caused because you've taken too much damage from that initial like dive in. It's once again, it's just being proactive and position yourself like better basically. But we'll keep going. So obviously the team fight's still going on, so you try to get back as quick as you can, which is great. Fortunately, 2 people have got picked off, so this is a lost team fight. That's how you try to get him out. Your Sojourn is made a massive, yeah. Just get yourself out. Leave. I don't know why your Sojourn ulted there. That is not an ulting opportunity. But anyways, alright, so we got a cast now, which is great. Genji's going to be near Blade, so I love how you're damage boosting right now. Obviously, once again, lovely damage boost. Just try to keep your eye on this D.Va. I know obviously your Ana's going to be the main person to kind of like help with that. But at the same time, just, you know, try to keep your eye on her. But lovely like heals and stuff. Love how you get him. Just, it's too much damage because she ends up getting antied and stuff. Genji's got 2. Nice. Lovely how you got to go peel your Genji now. That was great. Lovely res as well. That's what you should have done with your Valk on the first point. You know, I was telling you, you should like try and get to the backline and help your Genji. You should have literally done that exact same thing as what you did just then. Really good Valk, like to go and help and stuff. Really, really great. Alright, same thing again, right? So you should try and obviously hear that they're going to be using sim turrets up here. I'm hoping that you make the rotation. Absolutely perfect. So over to the Genji. Really, really great. Love the damage boost on the Discord. Sorry, damage boost on the deflex even. I cannot name things today. Same thing again, where essentially you know that this is going to be a spam out area. Just play under here. Like, just play. You could basically play, like, kind of, like, back here-ish, basically. Because you can also keep an eye on the point. So it means you could ping the Sombra as soon as she comes. And even, you could also, like, try spam her out as well with your pistol if, like, you know, were desperate in need of, like, trying to get her away. But if you essentially just play, like, here, it keeps out of this kind of, like, spam damage of, like, this area. And you could just, like, play down here. But we'll keep going. So obviously she's there. Lovely how you kind of like got the pistol until your Genji proper got in there. Really, really great. Ana ends up getting picked off. Honestly, that's not your fault because you obviously went to go help with Genji, which is perfect. Lovely GA away. Lovely use of cover. Lovely. Played that really, really well, that entire fight. Very nice. Obviously healing up your D.Va, which is great because obviously Ana's not here. My only thing is as soon as your Genji, so I don't mind you healing your D.Va here, but as soon as you see that Genji dive in, you then need to just support the Genji, because you're essentially just wanting to kind of like stagger this Ana like a little bit. And also, like, bearing in mind your D.Va, like, even though she's lost HP, she's still got like half of her mech still available, right? And also, you should try and like maybe save some ult charge for your Ana as well, so you can literally just like kind of heal her up a little bit. As soon as the Genji goes in, go and assist him. But we'll keep going. Love how you switch to healing to use off the anti. That's really, really great. Same thing again. I damage with Genji here. See the sim TP. That's really, really great. Don't get the pistol out though. Just try and like ping it. Really nice for your team. Really nice damage boost as well. Really, really great. Lovely peel for your Ana as well. Really, really nice. Very nice again. This same thing where I'd maybe back off a little bit more so you're not playing on this high ground so much. Especially when they have this like D.Va stuff, they'll basically just dive in and they might even like dive you. Sometimes when I ping, I actually pull out the pistol. What bind is your ping? Can I ask? Because with me, I have it as like one of the D-pad, but I've doubled it down. So like, basically to ping out the ping wheel, I believe it's like one of, I think it's like left on the D-pad, I think. But if I like, obviously, if I press it like once, it normally gives like an enemy thing. But unless if you like double bound it or something for some reason, because I ended up doing that once. The up arrow. Oh, okay. Just make sure you don't have like double bind and stuff. So obviously notice that the capping point, lovely ping. This is what I mean by the ping. Go to assist Genji, perfect. Valk. Valk. You Valk's a little bit too late here. Right. This Valk should have been a little bit sooner, because essentially it will help with this like basically trying to pick someone off and this like spam damage, right? You essentially want to do this before the fight starts breaking out like this, alright? You just want to kind of like pop that a little bit sooner than what you did. Lovely res. Cassins are dying while that happens. Can't do anything about that. Oh, that's just so unfortunate. And you end up losing it. Okay. So, overall FEMBOY, alright? I loved your positioning. Really, really great. Right, really, really good positioning. Like, honestly, I think for the majority of the time, I cannot fault you on your positioning. Damage boost is good. But the issue with the damage boost is that we need to start applying it now to people that might not be your main blue beam target, but you have to realize that what's it called? There are certain points where your main blue beam target is not going to be doing damage and you want to push up with that extra damage. You did it at some points, like with the Genji, for example, when he like pushed up at the beginning of fights, but there were quite a few team fights and also just general kind of points in fights where you want to be pushing the damage boost on other people rather than your main blue beam target, which is like your Sojourn, for example. Reses were good. I liked how obviously we waited and obviously used like cover and stuff like that. There were obviously a few more reses that I felt we could have got off if we were a little bit more riskier. Valks, we just need to kind of like work on timing a little bit more with it. Just purely because like I feel as though Valk timings at certain points were like it was either too early or too late, which I feel as though comes into this next point that I'm going to give you, right? We need to work on being more proactive, okay? This is going to, I feel as though being proactive and reactive is something that really defines kind of like a good Mercy from a great Mercy. The reason for this is because someone that's proactive as Mercy will already be there, will already have their beam on someone, will already like basically be thinking ahead in the team fight and be thinking what's going to happen, like who's going to like, you know, who's going to get dove or like this, for example. Which I felt as though happened quite a few times, specifically in that last like fight. It happened a few times as well earlier on. But just if you kind of like think ahead and just think to yourself, okay, who's going to be in the most damage, who's like, you know, who's going to be taking the most damage here, who's going to be doing the most, and it basically kind of applying that proactive mindset will actually help you with a lot of the stuff that I've said with your Valk timing, with knowing who's the damage boost. It all comes from being slightly more proactive about the game and thinking ahead of time and knowing what people are going to do. Now, being proactive sadly isn't like, it's something that you just have to kind of like learn over time, if you get me. And it also requires a lot more like a thought process. So I know a lot of people just, oh, they just, you know, like to sit back and just, you know, relax and play Mercy, which is great and all, you know, really, really fun. But a lot of the time, especially when you get up higher and you want to, you know, want to play Mercy in these higher like ranks, you have to basically kind of, not so, like, it's kind of like outwitting people, if you get me. Like, you have to very much just be in the mindset of what's this person going to do and making sure you're actually one step. It's like being one step ahead of someone for that entire thing. I feel that's probably like the best way to put it. And unfortunately, it very much comes with time, but you can make it like kind of come quicker if you focus on actually your other roles. And this might sound a bit like counterintuitive, but hear me out, right? If you know, for example, with a diva, right? If you know yourself how you should be playing diva, then you can, what's it called? You can then basically apply that knowledge basically to your own gameplay. Because you can sit there and think, okay, if I was the diva, what would I be doing there? And then you can like reposition yourself. I feel like I spoke about this quite recently with another like really high ranked Mercy, where it's literally you just have to like, you just have to be like one step ahead of someone and just think, how would the person either I'm pocketing or I'm against, how would they play? And then how can I be one step ahead of that person? Or like have that knowledge and think, okay, I know this person's going to be doing this, and just be ready for it a little bit more. But I hope that helped, FEMBOY, and please do let me know if you have anything else that you want to ask me. Once again, thank you so much everyone on Twitch and also on YouTube who have been watching. By by all means, you can get your own VOD reviews. So for 5,000 channel points, I do them on Mondays, but I also stream on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. So you guys can basically build up the channel points at that time as well. I normally stream for about 4 or 5 hours in like the evening time, like the UK. So you can just hop in, come and say hi to my lovely community, or of course you can more than welcome to come and like lurk as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all later. Bye.